Hey guys, this is Slifer Maniac, and I'm putting out today my Rare Hunter deck profile. So, I just wanted to show you my face, first of all, and then continue with the deck profile. Maybe, in the nearby future I will vary it a little bit. One time just the cards, and the other time cards and face, and because I just wanted to show you guys that I'm not shy or anything like that, but it's just about the deck profile. So as a result of that, thought, okay, it's alright to just show you the cards which are the decks are consistent of. Well, to make a speech short, we are gonna begin now. In a second. There you go, onto his monsters. Now, first of all, about the character. On the one hand, Rare Hunter was one of the servants of Marek, who was collecting the most rare cards in the world, and together with his Rare Hunters, you call this Rare Hunter Seeker. He had others as well. Though there were, he needed, of course, amount of assistance to get the rare cards very fast and to eventually confront the Pharaoh Atom or Yugi, because they shared one body, of course. So he took his Millennium Stick and mind controlled many persons and made them to his handmade servants. Of course, he had a couple of companions too, who were supporting him, like his stepbrother Odeon. So they were collecting the most rarest cards in the world to finally succeed in their task to defeat the Pharaoh and take out the might of the Pharaoh, which is linked directly with the Millennium Puzzle. So, onto this very first, and I would say even weakest of the three, of the many Rare Hunters that exists. This Rare Hunter's main strategy was based around, of course, the 5 pieces of Exodia, as you already will be able to realize. Five pieces. He had, I think, about 3. One of them, he had 3 pieces each, so that makes 15. Because, of course, 5 pieces plus 3 each time, and he manipulated them. On the back, I think he put some signs on the backs of the cards, so he might recognize them by shuffling his deck and putting the Exodia pieces in front of his deck to, of course, succeed in a strategy far more easier. And beyond these 5 cards, he had a couple of cards which he stalled with in his games, in between his games, to finally reach the goal to summon Exodia. One of them was Giant Soldier of Stone with 2000 defense. Then, of course, Machine Golem, the Moving Fortress, also 2000, even 2200 defense. Then he had a couple of cards like, I think it was evil hand, but I think, as a matter of fact, it's just an anime exclusive card. So I put in their magical hand, which has a similar artwork and not that bad of a defense condition. 1600. It's ain't that bad. So then you had monsters like Three-Headed Guido, Hannibal Necromancer, and even Baphomet was in his deck shown. During his defeat, Yugi researched into his deck and found out that he cheated due to his marking of cards, and seeing also that he had just a couple of few cards to draw with to put up his draw engine to finally draw Exodia and to stall while not having them pieces in his hands. Then further on, he had Red Eyes Black Dragon, which he won earlier in the first, or I think it was the very first duel, right before Battle City. One night before Battle City even begun, Joey had a duel against Rare Hunter where he lost. And so, like the Battle City stats say, he had to, of course, give his rarest card onto his opponent. And then I think that was all that he had. He had also, I think, a stone statue of the Aztecs, which also has 2000 defense, which is a good defensive posture monster. I do have this card, but I didn't find it, so I decided to let it out. But you can imagine that this would also be in his deck. Then I put 3 Spirit of the Pot of Greed in his deck, which can be helpful with drawing, increasing his drawing power, as he has, of course, 1 Pot of Greed in his deck, and his deck is around 40 cards, so yeah. It might be more probable that he draws it, and draws one of the cards at least, and then instead of drawing 2 cards, I think he can even draw 1 or 2, and he can draw 1 other card. Then of course I put Sengen in his deck, due to the fact that he can, of course, then if Sengen is destroyed, put 1 of the Exodia pieces in his hand from his deck. Then I put 2 times top Pot of the Forbidden One because of the stalling power which comes from this card. Of course it does have 2 tributes, but it has 3000 defense like the Labyrinth Wall, and has also the effect to increase the draw power from the player which possesses this card. If it is tribute summoned and set, and then flip face up while attacked, for example, or just flip face up if it's in your face, then you can, for example, draw 2 cards, but it also does have the effect that you can put the magic and trap cards from the field onto the respective owner's hands. Also, it can destroy all monsters, so it has many effects. I think also you can see the hand from the opponent, cards from the other opponent's hand, and take 1 and put it into his deck. His deck's then shuffled. So that's 1 card which might come very handy in this deck. Then I put also in there cards like Ceremonial Bell and Magical Library of the King, which of course, as a matter of fact, since they have good defensive stats, and this card especially also has the effect, if you, I think, put spell counter on it and you have, I don't know, 2 or 3. Then you can put one away and then draw 2 cards, if I'm correct. Yeah, you can put one away from 3 and then draw 1 card for each. So does have good defensive stats, but also stalls the opponent, so it might come in handy. Then, and as I have in the other Spirit of Pot of Greed, I also put in there Avarice of the Pot 2 times. And if you have Pot of Greed in your hand, you can put it to the graveyard instead, and then you can draw 3 cards. So maybe I put it another time into the deck because I have it already 2 times, but I might put it 3 times in there. As well as I was thinking about Magician of Faith 3 times. I don't know if you know this card, but if this card is flipped face up, then you can take 1 magic card from the graveyard and put it to your hand. It's one of the monsters I also do have, but I did not find now. And then, of course, I do have Sin Ghost, which works very similar to Scapegoats, which works very similar to Scapegoats. If it's flipped, it's just as the difference is that this is a monster. And if it's flipped face up, it creates the 4 marks, play marks to your field like Scapegoat does. But yeah, no, I have to correct myself. It has even stronger, because you can special summon many play marks as you want, as you have there's place on the monster zones. You can fill them up, even up to 5 monster cards, and if you have none, then you can of course special summon 5 in total. So this onto his monsters. Of course, in that sense, it is a little bit, quite a bit powered up. But I think, it was a little bit weak in the Battle City era, so I pimped it a little bit up. Then I have onto his spells put in there, which he had not in his deck, a different dimensional capsule. You can, of course, then ban 1 card from your deck. And then after the second standby phase, put this card in your hand. Then the card he did have, I think I put it in there 2 times, which is Swords of Revealing Light. Of course, the reason is clearly to stall the opponent until he can finally draw Exodia, or stall more to finally then for another time. I put also in there Monster Reborn. I'm not quite certain if he had this one, but it also comes in handy. Pot of Greed, as I already mentioned earlier. Scapegoat for more stalling. And then other pots as well. Pot of Avarice and Pot of Duality. Then also Card Guard 2 times, which makes you change, if you want, the 5 above the top cards of your deck, and in that order which you want to have it in. You can change it. So 2 times I put it in there. Gold Sarcophagus, which is very similar with the effect to different dimension capsule, but it is, I think, not for 2 rounds. Yeah, it's also for 2 rounds, but the big difference is that Gold Sarcophagus goes right into the graveyard and is not a permanent magic card until its effect finally resolves, like a different dimension capsule. Then I put also a one-time passcode into them, because you, like scapegoats and scapegoats, you can summon a play mark, but this one has 2000 defense and 2000 attack, so it might come in handy also on the one hand in terms of stalling, but also in terms of attack. You can use it also. It's very practical in that way as well. Then Fissure, because I thought it would be very playable. You can destroy one of the opponent's monsters, as well as it might fit into the category with the magical hand artwork. Yeah, now I'm coming to trap cards. I have Reckless Greed, of course, for drawing power. Then 3 times Jar of Avarice. You can put 5 monsters into your deck, and then shuffle the deck and draw 2 cards. So that's very efficient for this kind of deck, where you need more and much draw power. Then Back of Soldier, to maybe if one of your Exodia pieces is destroyed, you can bring it back into your hand. Then Attack Negate for more stalling power, and finally I put in there, which he had not in his deck, Self-Destruct button. If your strategy doesn't go your way, maybe at least you can put out a draw in a match or duel. Yeah, well, that was all about that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned for more content. As I already mentioned, I will put up more content these days and go up the ranks about his main companions, villains, as well as the other light side, of course, which I hadn't also already done. Then, of course, foes like Revel Underwood and Rex Raptor also will follow, and of course the main opponents of Joey Wheeler, which were besides Rare Hunter, of course, also were Esperoba, Meiko Tsunami, and of course Revel Underwood. So, to make a long story short, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!